Stunning. 3, 2. Hi Ruth.
Hi Rudy.
How's it?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm okay. Tell the people what you do. I think it's pretty impressive for a 22, 23-year-old girl.
Glory be to God.
Always.
I make it sound so dramatic, but I'm a digital entrepreneur and content creator.
And you own an online boutique, right?
Yeah,
What's it called?
Yeah. I own an online boutique called Mola, but I'm going to take the Mola name to further things, but it will all be digital. So that's why I said.
And how did you get into all of that at such a young age?
My parents, both of them are entrepreneurs, business people, and ever since I was younger, that's all I knew. And it's not that I didn't want to get into 9 to 5 for a negative reason. I was just like, this is where I want to be. I want to make my own money, and I also feel like I'm a very driven person, so yeah.
And how was your childhood? You just mentioned your parents and the role they've played. I know the role they've played in your life, but how was your childhood growing up?
I had a very good childhood. I had wonderful parents. The struggles I faced were not their fault. Okay, we're having a conversation, right? Today we're talking about colorism, and off camera I was telling you that a lot of my answers might not be the same as a lot of people here, because maybe they've dealt with colorism issues, but I dealt with self-identity issues. And I say that's not my parents' fault, but you know my story. I'm Nigerian, but let me explain to the people. I live in South Africa. I have lived in South Africa since I was 3. Both my parents are Nigerian, but I was born in Swaziland. So that's 3 different layers, right? So in South Africa, I'm not South African enough. But if I had to go to Nigeria today, as someone who's lived here from 3 years old, I'm not Nigerian enough. And then if I go to Swaziland where I was born, you're only born here, what are you doing here? You know? So yeah, that was my childhood. I dealt with a lot of self-identity.
So you're 23 now. Okay, you're 23 now. Where are you with your self-identity issues?
I am a child of God. That's how I learned. I had to find my identity in Christ. Because even till today, I still get questions like, you've been in South Africa for so long, why can you not speak the language? I don't know, child. Or you're Nigerian, both my parents are Nigerian, but they brought me up speaking English. So it's not my fault. What can I do? Where do I fit in? I fit in God.
So did the whole situation get worse, in inverted commas, because you're dark skinned? Because if you're light skinned, they would be like, oh, you're exotic.
It would be, you're right, you're right. It would be very naive of me to say no, but I need to explain to you the intensity of the self-identity issues. That colorism was almost like, I was in this bubble of dealing with this one issue that a lot of the things that I dealt with, bullying, I only realized later. So I only realized, I'd say like towards the end of high school, when I had dealt with my self-identity issues. I had grown closer to God. I'm like, okay, this is who I am. I have confidence in who I am.
Have you experienced colorism before?
Have I experienced colorism before? Yes.
What happened?
Once again, I only grew knowledgeable to it towards the end of high school. So I'm sure it has been happening before, and
you just went away.
There have been comments that I can remember now that have been made before, but me having to stop myself and be like, hold on, what was that? Was when I was in a group, I won't say whether it was high school or university, but in a group, and the light-skinned girl, she was very like, she just was like, I'm prettier than everyone here. And the person that I am, I never compare myself to friends. If we're friends, we're all winning here. Like, we're all winning. So I never compare myself to friends. So I've noticed that, okay, it's the light-skinned girl saying that she's pretty, and then fine. I'm like, okay, maybe that's just you. But when we go out, men are also coming and trying to make us feel like we're less than. But thank God that thank God that I went through the self-identity issues, because that taught me confidence. And I think confidence is what's important with colorism and all isms. Just have confidence in yourself. So thank God that before I was met with colorism, I already had confidence. So I never found my confidence in men. If a man didn't come to me the whole night, I'm good. But I would notice it, that okay, he's not coming to me, but he would go to a light-skinned girl.
Do you think the world owes you an apology?
No. The world doesn't owe me an apology. But if the world was to owe me anything, it would be changed behavior, not for my sake, but for the sake of our children. Because that's the only way I feel like colorism, if you ask me, like, if there's a way that colorism can end, it's from our parents, from the elder generations, or the people raising children. That's how I feel colorism, or all the isms, can end, by educating children.
So,
Stop making comments like, why are you playing in the sun? You'll get too dark. Stop making comments like, you're too pretty. I know we've said that many times, but you're too pretty you're
pretty for a dark
skin. Just affirm the children without bringing, obviously educate, it's happening, but affirm them without having to bring their color into it.
So how is your self-love journey going?
Great.
How did it become great? What changed?
That period where I was not confident and not knowing where I am, and started growing closer to God, it's just gotten better from there.